For those of you old enough to remember the old Peanuts cartoon with Charlie Brown, you'll remember how in almost every episode of that cartoon, Lucy, who Charlie had a major crush on, would play the same trick on him over and over and over again. And that trick, because Charlie wanted to kick a football off the ground while Lucy held the ball. And that trick is that Lucy convinced him every single time that this time was going to be different, and she was going to hold the ball until he kicked it so he could see how far he could kick it. And every time he'd come running up to the ball and get right about where he was going to kick it, she would yank the ball away, yank the ball away, and he'd swing his foot and go flying up into the air and land on his back, heartbroken again that he fell for the same trick. Well, guess what? That's what we do in this world. When we put our hope in the world, when we put our hope in the governments of the world and in the politicians of the world and in the way that the world tells us we should operate. When you talk about voting, it's your right, it's your duty, it's your duty to vote. And they do that so that we continue every single cycle to put our hope in a government who ultimately is going to yank that football away every single time, just as Lucy did, every single time. And she did it as a way of control. She did it as a way of keeping Charlie having that crush on her, but yet she would never fulfill it completely. And that's exactly what the governments of the world do, especially here in the Western countries like America. They fill us with hope constantly, only to leave us feeling betrayed every single time. And this is why we need, more than anything right now, today is November 8th, it's election day, it's about 2 o'clock Central, so I don't know any of the results or anything like that that's come through. Needless to say, I did not vote. But what we do when we vote, whether we realize it or not, whether we intend on this, is we're giving our will, we're giving our spirit to the government in hopes that they'll somehow make our lives better for us. We're putting all of our hope in government to fix the problems that we see surrounding us. And guess what? They're not going to do it. They never have done it. They've created all the problems, and then to say that they have a solution to all the problems that they've created through the centuries and millennia is simply silly. It's simply silly for us to continue to believe any more than Charlie should have kept believing that one of these times Lucy was going to hold the ball long enough for him to kick it. It's insanity. It's childhood insanity. And I guess we do it because we don't know where else to find our hope. We don't know where else to turn to solve the problems that are so glaring in front of our eyes. You can't deny our nation here in America is being systematically destroyed. And it's being done on purpose, 100%, to set up the next phase. See, if you've been following my channel, you know that I've been preaching about the revelation of Jesus Christ. And it's important for us all to understand we are in God's judgment right now. And the beast of Revelation 13 is roaming the earth. We're in the second seal, the fiery red horse of war, and the beast is Vladimir Putin, who's leading it all. And so for us to think that somehow our vote or our governments are going to flip a switch and start serving us at this point, when the seven seals of Revelation of God's judgment are playing out, is insanity. It's absolute insanity. And we need to drop those old ways of thinking that we've had our entire lives, because nothing can stop what's coming. And so Vladimir Putin, although he looks like a bad guy right now, and we're talking about not putting our hope in the world, right? The reason we need now to stop putting our hope in the world and get out of that way of thinking is because of what is coming. And Vladimir Putin is, in fact, going to expose all of the evils of the Western countries. He's already called America Satanic America, right? And he's not wrong about that. It is Satanic America. His war is going to expose everything in plain, vivid detail and show us all of the evils that have been going on in the Western countries. All of them. And it's going to give people who hope in the world a brand new hope that there is a leader in this world, Vladimir Putin. There is a leader in this world who is desperately trying to expose the evils, and he'll do it. He'll do it. Which is why those who hope in the world will worship him. And it'll be such a gargantuan deception for us to face in the next coming couple of years, as this unfolds and as it progresses. It'll be such a gargantuan deception because it'll look good. As I talk about, the kingdom of Lucifer works on two fronts, the light and the dark, okay? We live in the dark country. In the Western countries, we're in the dark, the evil side, the Satanic America, as Putin calls it. Putin and his 10 kings from Revelation work on the light side. And they're going to appear. See, Lucifer is not this devil with red devil with horns. Lucifer is a beautiful, beautiful fallen angel. It's why why he had convinced himself that he is better than his creator, Yahweh. So he creates both sides of things. He creates the light, he creates the dark. And the light, as we go through these next few years, through God's judgment, the light is going to consume the dark. And those of us on the earth at this time are going to be faced with seeing what we thought we always wanted to see are the evils of the government being exposed. And on top of that, Putin is going to unleash a new hope throughout the entire world, which is why he will be worshipped. He's going to unleash an entire new hope on the world. It'll be the ultimate form of basically communism, but it's going to be wealth, promised wealth for all, wherein you'll be told you no longer need to labor for a living. You'll never have to worry about money ever again. You'll be offered everything. All you have to do is worship him. It's exactly what Satan did to Jesus when Jesus began his ministry at around 30 years old, and he went out to into the desert to fast for 40 days and 40 nights. And at the end of that, one of the three temptations that Satan threw at Jesus is he took him up on a high mountain to see all the kingdoms of the world, right? All the kingdoms of the world. And Satan said, all of these things, Jesus, I will give you if you just fall down and worship me. Number one, what does that tell you? That tells you that Satan runs the entire earth. He owns all the kingdoms. And he was offering all of it to Jesus. All he had to do was fall down and worship him. That's it. Put his hope in the world rather than in his Father. And he said, Jesus said in return, it is written, you shall worship the Lord your God, and him only shall you serve. Get behind me, Satan. And we will face each individually, we will face the exact same temptation through the beast, through Vladimir Putin and his 10 kings and the system they're going to bring in. As we continue to put our hope in the world, and these things are presented to us, well, you'll never need to worry about money ever again and pursue your passions. All you got to do is just pursue your passions. Your finances, your money is taken care of. They're coming in with a whole new financial system, backed by more money than you can imagine. Backed by more money. And as I've talked about so extensively on my old channel especially, I know exactly where that wealth is. It's stored in the global seed vault in Svalbard. It's off the coast of Sweden, Svalbard. And it's been this new financial system this gift from Satan, the leaders of the light side of Lucifer's kingdom, have been contributing to this thing since Saint Germain's. It's called the Saint Germain's World Trust, and they've been contributing it, the leaders, the rich people, for hundreds of years. There's ungodly amounts of wealth in this thing, and it will be enough with whoever's left on the earth after the third and fourth seals of Revelation. As we know, a lot of people are going to die in this war. A lot of people, and a lot of people are going to die in seal 3 through massive inflation, and then in seal 4 through disease, through the beasts of the earth even will kill people. But it'll be enough money, more than enough money, to bring everybody out of poverty, to take care of every senior citizen, to take care of every single individual. Think about the generation below mine. I'm 45, my son's generation, he's 16. They look at the world and they're like, there's no hope. There's no hope. What would I do with my life? What am I supposed to do in this mess of a world? Well, guess what? The ruler of this world has a solution. And that's what it is. It's the Saint Germain's World Trust, which is ultimately going to be presented and unleashed with the promise of all you need to do is bow down and worship me. Bow down and worship me. And those of us who see through the deception are going to look insane. Why would you not want this? Why would you not want this, Travis? And I'm telling you, even those of us who see through the deception, as it unfolds, it's going to be so great. It's going to be so great that we're going to have doubts at times. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I misconstrued this whole thing. Nope, because it is written in the revelation of Jesus Christ. It's all explained to us perfectly. That's why God gave us that tool. That's why Jesus gave us such vivid detail. If you haven't watched my series on the revelation of Jesus Christ, please take the time to do so. Go to nolongerlost.quest, nolongerlost.quest. It's right on the homepage. It's 10 videos. Watch them all and you'll understand why putting our hope in the world, starting with our vote right now, just to keep us trained in keeping our hope in the government, in governments, you'll learn why we need to come out of that now, so that we can break the cycle of thinking and start fully trusting in the Father, start fully trusting in Jesus Christ, start fully trusting in the Holy Spirit to navigate us through this. Because there's going to be so few of us, and we're going to have to do it with ridiculous amounts of ridicule as the beast plays out his deal. I want to encourage you today, spend some time with God. Spend some direct time with God. Whether you voted, whether you didn't vote, whether you understand the lies of voting, whether you don't, it's irrelevant to me. I want you to spend some time with God. And spend some time watching my Revelation series, because that was all the Holy Spirit. That was all the Holy Spirit working through me, explaining what all that really means to this age. But spend some time with God and ask him, you know, what is your plan for me? What exactly is your plan? If I'm supposed to put my hope in you, there better be a plan here, because I can't just sit here all day trying to feel holy. And that's not what it's about. That's not what it's about at all. But he's going to have to take us step by step through this mess. I don't know what's going to happen tonight with the election. I don't know that you know what their plans are necessarily. But immediately thereafter, no matter what happens, the next phase right away is going to be try to start rebuilding that hope. Be like Lucy again and put that football down and be like, Charlie, come and kick it. I encourage you to get your mind out of that way of thinking and put your hope in the one who created you.